Welcome to the Polaris Adventures podcast. I'm your host, Jared Christie. You could put my next guest on the mountain of Mount Rushmore Outfitters. I don't know if he wants to have a 60-foot face carved in the side of a mountain, but if he does, we can make some calls. Please welcome to the show, Scott Betten, General Manager and partner of Spearfish Canyon Lodge in Leeds, South Dakota. Scott, how are you?
I'm doing good today, Jared. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. What do you think, Scott? Put you up there with the other big four? Would that work?
Yeah, I think, we'll have 5 of us up there.
Is there room for
Why
one
not?
more?
Why not? We can make room. We can make room.
How many times do you think you've been to Mount Rushmore over the years?
Oof. Probably not as many times as you would guess, but I bet you probably been there on site probably about 5 times, but probably drove by it another 10 or 15, probably. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I was gonna put it in the dozens, if not more. You're not that far away.
I know. It's kind of, I'm too busy working every day, It's just not enough time.
Yeah. Well, you just revved up your summer and fall off-road season. Tell me what it's like being in an area of the country where you do get millions and millions of visitors each and every year.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. We had a successful season, and we basically offer full service up here at the lodge for all types of people and guests, and basically you can pull in on a Thursday afternoon and park your car and not get back out there. We got all sorts of, there's 4 different hiking trails out our back door with different skill limits that you can choose from. And then, we got the UTVs, we have the slingshots, we have snowmobiles for the wintertime. We have a creek for top 10 trout fishery in the United States. So there's literally something for all different scenarios on what interests people and what you're wanting to do, and there's something here for everybody. So
you're on the far west side of South Dakota, and Spearfish Canyon is just about 90 minutes from Rushmore. Why is that area of the country so unique and special?
You have so much history here. There's just going back to the 1800s and one of the original gold rushes in the Black Hills that brought so many of those big names that you hear in history about to the area. And you have the city of Deadwood itself just full of history. Still got the paved brick road on Main Street going through there. There's still some 100-plus-year-old buildings sitting around. So there's tours that bring you back into the Old West, and there's so much to do. And then you get outside of Deadwood and you have, like you said, you have Custer area, you have Crazy Horse Monument, you mentioned Mount Rushmore, not far away we have Devil's Tower. So there's all sorts of monuments here for the people that want to get out. The hiking trails throughout the entire hill system is enough. You could spend all summer here and not touch half of them. There's so much to do. There's so much history here, and there's truly something for everybody.
Yeah, you mentioned so many things. And of course, you've got Sturgis and the motorcycle rally, which isn't far away. And then you've got the Black Hills of South Dakota, which is obviously famous as well. Tell me more about the Black Hills.
Yeah, so Sturgis, you mentioned that. So that's an annual event that happens in the first 10 days of August. Sturgis is about 25 miles from our resort here. So we fill up for a solid 10 days with bikers. We kind of transition our resort to Sturgis mode, and it's quite a party for 10 days.
Do you decorate it any different, or does it stay the same?
Oh, it pretty much stays the same, but the front yard fills up with vendors. We have about 15 different vendors that come in, including Indian Motorcycle and Slingshot this last year doing demo rides. We have live entertainment. It's a party for 10 days, and there's our state population's a little over 800,000 people. And this last year during the 85th anniversary Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, there was over 500,000 attendees to it. So trying to pack in 500,000 people in this small little area of the hills, it's pretty crazy. It's something to see.
Pretty crazy is not a strong enough word, I know. That's for sure. Now, of course, if you want to explore the Black Hills, then one of the best ways to do that is leaving right from your Spearfish Canyon Lodge there. Tell me about the rides you guys offer and where you can go.
Yeah, so I always like to explain it as, everybody comes here in their vehicles and, drives the 20-mile long canyon that we're inside of here. That's actually older than the Grand Canyon itself. But yeah, I always like to phrase it as, see the hills from the inside out. Get out get off the highway, get out on a UTV, go explore. So one of our most popular rides is Smitten Ridge Loop, which we can kind of cater to a full day ride or a half day ride. If you only have so much time to go out there for a couple hours, you could do one of the loops to get up there. And anyways, you get up top and you kind of, as you're climbing and you get up top, it feels like you're on top of the world and you can see everything around you, every which direction. And you get up to the tower, which is still an active fire lookout tower. You actually leave South Dakota and get into Wyoming on this. And once you reach that summit on a clear day, you can see 4 different states. So it's pretty breathtaking.
Help me out with my geography. Which 4 states am I seeing?
You're obviously in Wyoming. You just come from South Dakota, so you can see those 2. Then you can see Montana and North Dakota. And sometimes they say you could see Nebraska too. I always stick with the 4, but so possibly 5. I don't know.
That's a heck of a view if you're seeing that much.
Yeah. Yep. It's pretty. You're on top of the world, it feels like. So
no doubt. Now you mentioned the history in the area. There's also a place called China Wall that you can ride to.
yes.
What's that like?
You can that's an old mining area where they set up they placed all these rocks and built up walls, and it's kind of you got 10 to 20 foot high rock walls that are just kind of, it's like a staircase going up the side of the hill where there's a series of these. And that's from the Chinese mining back in the day, and you can't drive up there anymore like we were used to, but you can drive up there, and then you got to finish walking the last few hundred yards. So yeah, it's a pretty cool spot.
That's
And then
similar
not far from there, you have Galena, which is another kind of some crazy trails where you're way up on top of the mountain, and then you work your way down towards like Highway 385 south of Deadwood. And then right there, you also have Camp 5, which is a top 10 Jeep trail, side-by-side trail in the country as well. So, yeah.
Do you have a favorite spot or location that you like to ride to?
I got a couple of them. I'm not going to mention one that's kind of not far from my house. That's kind of peaceful, and it's not mapped out, and it's not on the map. So we're going to leave that one. We're going to leave that one alone. But yeah, I have several different spots. I really enjoy the Smitten Ridge Loop and dropping down the backside. And there's an old mining town back in there called Welcome that I was going to take you to a few years ago. But we couldn't get there because that tornado came through there, and all the trees were down. Me and my 6-year-old, we a couple times a summer we'll throw the fishing gear in. There's some ponds back in there down at this mining pond, some trout ponds, and yeah, you basically got it all to yourself. And we'll go fish for a couple hours and have lunch and come back, and yeah. That's just a nice little fun afternoon for us. So, and then, stopping up at Iron Creek Lake on the way back, and on a nice day, and going and jumping in the lake and getting refreshed, and yeah, it makes for a pretty good Sunday.
I'll let people in on a little secret. If you go to Spearfish and you find Scott, he'll tell you where that secret spot is by his house, but he only do that in person. You got to find him when you're there. He won't do it here.
It's
you track him down.
Only.
In person only. That's how that works.
Not a Facebook message or anything like that. It's in person.
In person only, and I'll let you know. Well, that's the off-road side of things. But if you want to hit the paved road and go to Rushmore or Deadwood or Sturgis or any other hot spots in the area, you can also do that via Slingshot, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, correct. I'll give you a little story here. So I'm trying to think how long we've been doing Slingshots. I want to say we've been doing Slingshots for about 5-6 years here, and I've been up at the resort going on my 11th year here. And so, we're kind of located in the middle of this canyon, the lodges, the resort. So it's about 13 miles down to Spearfish, kind of to the mouth of the canyon. And then there's about 7 miles past us is kind of the end of the canyon that comes out at Cheyenne Crossing. And so for years, driving up and down the canyon in my pickup, and, you can only see out the window and, just a little bit, and kind of your level with what you're seeing on both sides of the vehicle. And my first time taking a slingshot, and you're going down the canyon, you're looking up, and there's no roof, and in your look, it's sight that I didn't see for the first 5 years driving up and down this road twice a day. And then to hop in one and go down to down south and past not Iron Creek, but hop in one and go down past Pactola Reservoir that's on Highway 385 in between Deadwood and Hill City, and you get down in the southern hills, and the hills change. It's more rocky points, and the landscape really changes. And then you can get into the monuments, and you can get on the Needles Highway, uh, and you can go through the tunnels and see the wildlife. And you come out of the tunnel, and there's Mount Rushmore as you're coming out of the tunnel, and it's right there, and you're looking at those poor faces right eye level, and it's pretty unique. It's then if you're really feeling it, you can go do the wildlife loop in Custer State Park, and you can be right out there with the buffalo and driving right past them, and there's a herd walking past you, and you can reach out and touch them if you want to. I wouldn't recommend that, but you don't play with the buffalo. You don't pet the buffalo.
Big sign that says don't pet the animals for that. Yeah, no doubt. How many twists and turns are there on that ride through the canyon? Because you mentioned it's older than the Grand Canyon, and I've driven it, and it's pretty curvy.
It's pretty curvy, and there's over, it's like 160 or something like that. It's just they say it's one of the, if you come to the hills and you get out on the paved roads and Spearfish Canyon, Needles Highway, there's more. It's just some of the best motorcycle slingshot riding that you can experience anywhere in the country.
Now, of course, we're coming up on winter, and that also means you can bundle up and hit the snowmobiles as well. What's that experience like?
That I look forward to snowmobile season every time we get to this time of year, and we're a month and a half away from the trails officially opening on December 15th, and just the entire team. It's like they just get refreshed, and everybody's kind of burned out right now after a long summer and a lot of hours. And now everybody's looking forward to snowmobile season. It's just a different season. People are excited for it, getting out. You can do kind of some of the same stuff that we talked about earlier. You can go see those 4 states in the wintertime and get up on Cement Ridge and get up on top. That's something to see in the wintertime as well. There's over 300, and the snowmobile trail starts right at the back of our parking lot here, and there's over 350 miles of groomed trails. There's about 4 or 5 different resorts you can stop out on the trail to refuel, to go inside and grab a beverage and a meal to warm up and have a hot chocolate. There's so much built around this trail system. It's true.
And I know you mentioned this before, but one of the truly best parts is you can do all of these activities right from the lodge.
Yeah.
Leave
It's
off-road, on-road, snowmobile, you leave for the day and you come back to the same spot. And I think that's what really makes your location unique.
Yeah, I agree. I've heard so many times where, a family comes out and, they're snowmobiling for a couple days, and dad and the kids are ready to go the next day, and mom doesn't want to go. She just wants to sit. We got a 40-foot tall fireplace down in our cozy great room with a lounge right there, and it's humoring because it's just, mom sitting there reading a book and having a hot beverage, and the kids and dad are out on the snowmobiles, and it's everybody's happy spot. That's just, that's a perfect day for mom once in a while, just to be alone and refresh and cozy up with a book next to the fireplace, and that's heaven for some people. So really, we offer it all. And these hiking trails in the wintertime, those are open as well, so you can go hit those up. Fly fishing out, the creek doesn't freeze, so you can fish year round as well. So it's awesome.
Now, that's all the fun stuff in and around Spearfish Canyon. But wait, there's more. You guys expanded to Deadwood this year. Before we start talking about the rides out there, tell me about Deadwood. I know you mentioned it a little bit before, but I've never been.
Yeah, so Deadwood is it's a pretty special place. It really is. It's got small town feel, especially this time of year when the tourists are kind of gone. But you get to Main Street, Deadwood, and you have casino after casino after casino, and restaurants, nightclubs. You have it's like a mini Las Vegas in the middle of South Dakota in the Black Hills here. A lot smaller scale, obviously, but that's the feel. But it's more of an old Western feel. There's something going on there, concerts. There's something going on there every single weekend throughout the year. Even during the week they have different things going on at Deadwood Square. There's if you want to stay in a really nice fancy place, they have those options in Deadwood at some of those casinos. And if you want more of a budget friendly place, they have that. So you have so many different options. And yeah, we just expanded there as well. And we've done this last year we did snowmobiles, we did UTVs, and we did slingshots, and we're just kind of wrapping up our season there and kind of going to wintertime hours. And yeah, it's kind of a different ride. So that's more kind of, it's still in the northern hills, but we kind of send you south out of there on the UTVs and uh, uh, slingshots. You can go south out of Deadwood and down that 385 that we were talking about that gets you into the southern hills. You can go, we have a lot of people that just want to cruise up and down Main Street in them as well, and they'll rent one for the day and just hang right around Deadwood in the northern hills area and hit Spearfish Canyon, come back around through Deadwood and cruise up and down Main Streets. Yeah.
I imagine for the off-road, there's different things to see or different places to go than there are where you guys are at in Spearfish.
Yeah, so that gets you down to that's a little closer to that Camp 5 that I mentioned earlier. We don't really recommend that you go in there with a rental, or at least if you do go in there, stay on the bypass trail that kind of goes around a lot of the bad stuff, because chances are you're going to damage something if you go in there, if you're not an experienced rider. Yeah, we have Galena that I talked about earlier, Custer Peak, which is another fire lookout station. You can't see 4 states from there, but it's in the central hills, I would say, just south of Deadwood, 12 miles. And you can get up on Custer Peak, and it's another one of those fire lookouts, and you can hike right up to it. And I believe you were there that one time. And in the fall, it's a beautiful, beautiful spot.
Yeah. So now here's the big question. Time of year to visit, because of all the people that come during the summer. Can I avoid some of those crowds by being out there in the spring or more likely in the fall?
Yes, but to get back to your point, it's always a perfect time to come. It really is. To avoid the crowds, yeah, springtime is going to be one of your best times. April, when you get into the fall, one of the prettiest times. My favorite time of year is the fall. The fall colors here are absolutely amazing, and people come from all across the country just to see the colors in the fall. So, yes.
Tricky question here, but how much time do you set aside? Because right now I can easily book up a week's worth of fun activities, things to do, just exploring the area. But, you could probably spend a month if you really wanted to, but that's not maybe realistic for everybody. So a couple of days, a week, what's the norm?
The number one thing I hear from people is that they wish they knew that we had this much to offer in the hills, and they wish they had more time, and we're going to be back next year, and we're going to give ourselves more time. We hear that constantly, I mean daily, from people, from guests checking out, and because they run out of time and they want to see something on their way to the airport, or they want to see this, and they're asking us, what can we see? What's one last thing we can go see before we because we ran out of time. But I would recommend, coming on a Friday after work and going home on a Sunday, like we see a lot, that's not enough time. If you can take a week and come out here, I would recommend, a minimum of a week to be out here to really get the full experience.
Gosh, I believe it. Well, Scott, thanks so much for being on the show. If you're looking to plan your next adventure or family vacation, think about Spearfish Canyon Lodge in the Black Hills. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Jared.
Be sure to like and follow the Polaris Adventures podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts, and we will talk to you again soon. Remember, you belong out here.